All right, so I'm gonna take the covers off right here. This is the stator cover, and to take that off, you need to take off the sprocket cover over on this side. So you need 8mm wrench. Wrench go. So 8mm. It'd be nice to clean and lube your chain before you do this. Otherwise, you might have to touch a dirty old chain. So my chain is clean and lubed from the last video that you saw, and I actually haven't ridden the bike since then. So it won't be too dirty in here. So when you take these off, be mindful of the bolts, how you know how big the bolts are, how long they are. So this cover, surprisingly, is plastic. It's not aluminum. On the Super Cub, this is aluminum, but on this bike, it's plastic. Also on the Monkey, this is aluminum as well. So that's very interesting that they made this out of plastic. So that's all right. So now we got these 8 bolts, or not 8 bolts, I mean 8mm. Actually, there might be 8 bolts, but let's see. Before I do anything, I actually have a little catch right here for the oil. And obviously, you see that my shifter is off. To take the shift off, you have to actually take off the 4 bolts that holds the pegs up. So I showed that in a different video, so you guys can check out that video to see that. All those bolts are loosened. So these bolts also have different lengths as well. I think there's 2 different lengths, maybe 3 different lengths. Surprisingly, usually Honda is pretty good at keeping all the bolts the same. You know, for example, on this cover, you know, there's at least 2 different bolts, if not 3, but usually they would have all the same bolts. So that way, you don't, there's no mistake. You don't accidentally put a bolt that's too short on there or too long on. If you put a bolt that's too short on a spot, and even though it threads in, if it's too short, it's not enough threads, and I've got to loosen that one. If it's too short, it will cause the threads to strip once you start tightening it down, because there's not enough engagement. I did loosen that up already. Why did I think I had not loosened that up yet? So that could potentially happen. So you have to be mindful of that. Now I'm just loosening up everything. Alright, so everything's loosened up. Take these bolts out. Let's see what sizes I have. I already see 2 different sizes, and I'm not too concerned about which goes where, because when you put it in, you know, when you put them all in, they all have a certain amount that they stick out. And as you put these in, there's a certain amount that sticks out. So you see how this one has there's a lot of stick out. If it's different from the other ones, you know, this one has less stick out because it's shorter. So they should, you know, doesn't matter if it's a long bolt or a short bolt. If they're in the right place, the amount where they stick out should be about the same. So that's how I know. So there's only 2 sizes. Okay, so this is where the oil is gonna come out. So be mindful of that. Move all my wires out of the way right here. Move this, slide this down. So there's a little bit of a magnetism right here that kind of holds it into place. So you actually have to fight that magnetism. So do this. So before you start doing any of this, what you should do is you actually clean up the surface area, because you see it's all dirty and muddy. But if you actually look at where my where the two come together, I clean all of that all the way around already. So I'm good there. So I don't have to worry about that. All right, let's pull this out. So I can feel the resistance on the magnet, and I can see my oil dripping down. So I'm actually at a good spot because the oil is dripping down where it's supposed to be. Put a little rag underneath the peg right here, so that way it doesn't scratch the cover. Alright, so I have a little rag right here. Just let some of the oil dripping down right here. You can see it dripping down. Alright, you can see that dripping down. Alright, so let's start up right here first then. So actually, let's look at my gasket. Let me look at my gasket real quick. It looks like the gasket is still all good, all intact. So I'm actually not gonna replace the gasket because the gasket is still whole basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's good. All right, that's good. I'm gonna use this rag here too. This rag is basically an old t-shirt. That's what I use as rags. I never buy rags. I always use old t-shirts and socks and underwears. You know, why waste money on something that you're gonna use and throw away right away? You got plenty of stuff that's worn out that you could do the same with. So okay, to put everything back together. So before I do that, I want to wipe the surface, mating surface, so that way everything is clean. So if the surface is not clean and you put it on there, it could cause a leak. So go along on the surface here, wipe it all out. And the bottom surface will have oil on there, so that's probably all right. So wipe out the surface, clean all that. Alright, so that's all wiped clean. So I'm good here. I can stick this back on. Because again, this thing the gasket wasn't damaged, so I could reuse it. So the magnet actually just sucked it in. Oh, the magnet just sucked it in. Okay. Hopefully the magnet will line itself up. Okay, there it goes. It lined itself up. So that's a good thing about that magnet. Okay, so that's good there. Man, I have some scratches. God damn it. Oh, that's probably from the shifter. Now we put the bolts back. Okay, got my bolts here. Remember, there's two sides or two lengths, so I don't remember which one's what. I'm just gonna stick it in, and if I see it stick out too far, then I know it's not the right bolt. So let's look at this one. So to see that how far this one sticks out versus this one, that's a big difference there. So this bolt is supposed to be a shorter bolt. Shorter bolt. Yeah, shorter. Let's try a long one over here. That's a long one in here, and if you look at this one, these two have the same amount of stick out. All three of them have the same amount. So that means it's the right spot. So basically, I think these two are short. The rest of them is long. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Yep. Yep, they all stick out the same. Okay, so now we just need to put them all back together. So basically, yeah, I don't plan on doing any type of big boring or any type of mods to this engine at all. The only thing I'm going to do is gearing change. I'm leaving the front as a 14, but I'm going to go bigger in the back. So the back is what was it, the back? 39. I'm going to go to probably a 41, I think. And that would be good. Engine wise, I'm gonna leave it complete stock, because this is gonna be my basically my travel adventure bike. So I don't need, I need the reliability of OE Honda. Oops, I made a mistake right here. Didn't put in the little cable holder here. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave everything stock engine wise. I'm just gonna change that back gearing, add 2 more teeth in the back gear, and that should be enough of my needs for this bike, for what I want to do with it. And it should be good. Otherwise, everything else is for, to set it up for traveling and kind of usability, to make it a little bit more comfortable, and for that long distance travel. So eventually, what I want to do with this bike is I want to, this is going to be my around the world travel bike. So the first thing I want to do is, besides go back to Alaska again, and I went up to Alaska 10 years ago, so I want to go back up there again. Maybe this summer, maybe the following summer, I don't know. I want to go back up to Alaska, and eventually I want to go down to Terra del Fuego with this bike, and and probably ship it over to like South Africa and ride Africa with this bike, and into the Middle East and India and all that stuff, and Southeast Asia, and make my way maybe up to Siberia and all that stuff. So all that good stuff. So now I'm starting to tighten it, go in a crisscross pattern. That's one I didn't care about, because it's like the furthest one away. And you want to go in a crisscross pattern, but at the same time, you want to start as close to the middle, the center as possible, then work your way outwards. So this is the furthest out, so that's why I wasn't worried about it. Okay. Let's see. Let's go right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Okay, that wasn't a good pattern. Let me go a different pattern. Let me go with let me go this pattern right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, that's it. Let's see, it's 1, 2. Okay, it's all tightened. All right, so that's all tightened up. I'm good there. Don't need to tighten it up that much. These are only 8mm heads. You didn't need that much torque, otherwise you just strip it. And you don't want to strip that, because that's the engine case right there. So when you put this back, one of the things you should do is you should wipe down the little guard right here. So this is where this clean spot is. That's where it's gonna hit the engine case. So you want to wipe that down so that way it's not dirty. Same thing with on this side as well. So that way it sits flat with each other, flush with each other. Okay, everything's in. So now after you do this, remember to fill out the oil, because remember all this oil dripped down right here. You need to top off the oil. Otherwise, you're going to be low on oil if you run it as is. You don't want to blow up your engine because of making a stupid mistake. That would totally be a stupid mistake right there. And it could happen too. It could happen like maybe you're in the middle of doing this, and all of a sudden someone distracts you. Someone distracts you, and you come back to it, and you forgot that you didn't oil it, you know, or add oil. Top it off. All right, so I'm pretty much done. I just need to do the full bolts right here to put this back up, and also the shifter. But you know, I mean, you guys don't need to see that because you saw that on one of my other videos. That's it. Thanks for watching.